Yeah, we're live.
Yes, we are.
Make sure I'm muted. Are you watching the chat too?
I am. I actually still have not been notified that we're live, which is very interesting.
Yeah, I don't even see it.
That's so strange. Oh, there we are. Okay.
We have a little delay.
Yes, we're used to it now. All right. Hi, everybody. Hi to everyone in the chat, waiting so patiently. How's everybody doing?
I'm just getting the chat pulled up real quick.
Okay, yeah. So we are now interactive. We can see all your comments. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. We don't have all that much, planned that we're going, talking points that we're going to be speaking about. But there is coming up a lot of big news. That might seem strange to some of you considering all the big news that's been breaking recently. But I personally, and I'm only speaking for myself, I don't feel very comfortable presenting about a topic unless I have, especially this in particular, regarding the executive order that happened last week. There's a lot of data that I need to absorb, a lot of things I need to retain before I feel comfortable making any kind of a statement about it. So that will probably happen later in the week or next week. And a lot can happen between now and then. So I know Heidi has a couple of announcements she'd like to make.
Yeah, and Jenny, just you want to tell everybody how to get a hold of you for readings and stuff too?
Yeah. So
you offer and stuff.
You guys can always find me at my website, jennymoonstone.com. And you can have the option to contact me. Okay, so there is something that I would like to say. I get a lot of messages of support and encouragement, and I love it. It really does just like push me, and I really, really enjoy it. But folks, I simply don't have the means or the time to have full-blown conversations with people. I cannot dedicate all that much time to getting to know anybody at this juncture in my life. We keep it strictly professional. If you'd like to retain me for my services, that is one thing. Although, I can't spend hours on the phone talking to people that have no interest in actually getting a reading. They just want to, bounce ideas back and forth. That's why we do these shows,
Right.
is to be interactive with people. That's part of the reason why we do these videos and things like that. But professionally speaking, and as far as my services go, I'm a reader. And I do life coaching. Those two things kind of meld in together. But, I'm certainly not looking to, I don't need people to talk to. I have plenty of people to talk to. And I hope that doesn't come off rude. I'm not trying to be rude. I just don't want anybody to feel, like I'm slighting them or ignoring them. I'm really not. I'm just a very busy woman, a wife, a mother. I work 2 jobs. So please don't take it the wrong way. I keep things very professional. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I can certainly understand that. And to get a reading with Jenny, it's going to be in the description, but it's jennymoonstone.com. It's very easy. So, and, on that note, first of all, I want to say thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed, because, there's a lot of support here, and there's a lot of people that moderate. And, I thank you so much for everybody who has, made us where we are today and supported us and, combated for us when they needed to. And, it does really mean a lot. So I want everybody to know that. Now, on the side note, okay, on the side note, in case you're new, I do want to say a few things, and it's kind of along the lines of what Jenny is saying. I'm not a mom or anything like that, quite honestly, but what I do have is I have a full-time career in addition to this, okay? So, and I hate texting. I hate talking on the phone. Okay. I get mad at Jenny if she sends me like multiple texts in one row. Like she'll send me like 5, and I call it the Jenny Moonstone text,
Right.
Because I don't like to read. Like I'm not a reader. I don't like, if you have something important, best thing is to do usually for my friends is to call me. Okay. So I just don't want anybody to take offense that I don't respond to your Facebook messages. Well, I had to turn off the notifications because I was getting messages at 1 a.m. And that's one other thing I have to say. Please don't text me at 1 a.m. and give me updates. Like it's really it's really like wearing on me. And I just don't want to be rude. So ask my mom. You could ask my sister, ask my whole family. I don't respond to them. Like, I am the worst person to try to have a conversation with over. And if you write me some big, long, bogus email, it could be, I won't read it, you know? So I just don't want to waste anybody's time. And I really just don't want people to think I'm being rude and ignoring them, because I'm not. It's just not how I am. So that's one thing I had to say. 2, please don't send me messages. Oh, do you want to go on my website and put a form in and say, oh, let's date. I want to date you. Or, you know, I have an interesting chart. When you take a look at it. Okay. Because guys, everybody has an interesting chart. If you want to see if I'd like you, you should probably get a Zoom webinar and let me see you. Okay. That's the best option for that. Okay. 3, there's a few things. I had a nice big list. I should have wrote them down, but just please, it's just respect. Like, don't text me at 2 a.m. Don't send me selfies of yourself. I can't have that. Also, this is not to be rude as well. Obviously, I don't tweet. I'm not a Twitterer, and I see messages and I check in and I see all these unread messages. So once again, I wasn't trying to ignore it. So these are just a few things like I have to say, because, you know, I have a horrible website for a reason. And it's because I don't want to have things. I can't even schedule readings for people, you know, 30 days in advance. First of all, there's a 45-day wait. And I will say, you probably won't hear from me till the week of, because my schedule changes every week. I'm in real estate, so I can't schedule anything. And I know it's a pain, but unfortunately, I still have to have this career. So please, please, please just understand that. And I'm not going to be doing refunds. Don't send money in my PayPal account if you haven't got a reading price. Okay. Because it's just, I'm like running around with like a chicken with my head cut off. And it's really just, all it's doing is taking away more time from me. So please, please, I hope you can understand. I'm not trying to be rude. Jenny's not trying to be rude here either, but we have to set some regulations here, especially if I am trying to do this full time. You know, if my reading prices, if I gave you prices in March of last year, things have changed. You should probably want to ask me if the price is the same. And I just have to start doing this. So today we're going to do some Q&A. I'm just trying to read some of these questions. I'm seeing something about me being a CIA person.
I just saw that. That's so funny to me. Oh God.
I am. Yeah, I would love to be, you guys. Actually.
No, you know what? I mean, all of this aside, it's entirely too late. You'll never be able to do it now.
I'm screwed.
But I think you would have been a fabulous undercover. Just in general, intel of any kind, data analysis, you would have been wonderful.
Yeah.
The thought of Heidi with a gun, though, like with a license to kill, that kind of makes
right?
This, yeah.
Well, yeah. I actually am pretty good at shooting guns. I did take firearms class.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think I have no doubt about your tactical abilities. It's more about like, geez, off, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean.
And what's the price of my readings? You have to submit it on the form, because they might change. They vary. Nothing's ever set in stone. So
market price. You call it market price.
Yeah, it's like I go with what I think that's going to be. Okay, starting price is over $100. It's $100. Just so you know, for an hour. It's an hour long. And also it's 60 minutes long. So I have to get stern with that too. I can't be doing readings and staying on the phone an extra hour. I've done it so many times, I can't even explain it to you. So I really have to get better with this. These are things like I just need to stay out here too, or I won't do it. So, and I'm not, once again, not trying to be rude, but if I ever want to do this full time, I have to start doing these. And my mortgage coach, he goes, well, now he's not my mortgage coach anymore. He was like, you know what, if you're that booked, you need a 49% increase in your price. And I won't do that, because I want it to still be affordable. So you have to just understand that if you want a reading from me, you just have to wait. Unfortunately, it is what it is. And there's other people that are great astrologers. If you don't want to wait for an ER, and if you want to call Jenny for a reading, if you need something but Jenny's probably booked now too. So here, you just have to take this into consideration with us. is we have a lot going on in our lives. So it's like, we're not trying to be rude when we say these things, but it's just.
I did have somebody, it's so funny, late last night, and I sent you the screenshot of it because it was just hilarious. But somebody did encourage me to commit suicide, like late at night, like last week sometime. And it was just sort of like one of those moments where that sort of thing hasn't really happened yet. And it was like, like you cross that threshold and you're like, now this is happening. And it doesn't bother me. Like it, it's, if anything, it shows me that maybe we're doing exactly what we should be doing. So we're certainly pissing people off. I don't think that there's nothing that I have ever spoken on camera, on any video, any podcast, that I feel like I couldn't own at any later date. There's nothing I would take back. There's nothing that I'm ashamed of, nothing I'm scared to say. And so, if somebody thinks that I should kill myself, I think that's just, indicative of the fact that, when you speak truth, people, that will upset people. So it probably upset my husband a lot more than it upset me. But that happens. And I thought that was pretty amusing.
Yeah, Jenny and I are about as real as they get. So, when we come up here and say things, we're live. There's no editing. And
neither one of us knows how to edit a video.
I know.
What you get, like, this is it. This is us, uncut, raw. This is, in the future, we'll probably, because I would like to eventually either start my own or work for a media outlet, a very reputable one, or create my own. There are probably some things that I'll look back and be like, I wish we could have just tightened that up a little bit, or, and it's not that I would retract anything.
Right.
It's just a matter of being polished.
Yes. There are some things I'm like, oh, did I really say that? And I just try to block it out and pretend like it didn't happen. But then when push comes to
pretend like that's not out there for the whole world to see.
Like, I've said a lot of things on Rex's show that I've said, like, oh God, and somebody was like, I heard you on Rex's channel and you said this. And I was like, ooh, I guess people are listening because I didn't want them to hear it. But, that's just me. Unfortunately, I'm going to say what's on my mind. I'm going to say it. It is what it is. I don't care either. So I kind of work on the reverse. So if you say something to me and tell me not to do something, tell me to, I'm respectful, but I am very cautious on what I say. And with certain reasons, especially because I have a career. If I didn't have a career, oh my God, you guys would see like raw and uncut. I'd probably have to take myself off YouTube.
Oh yeah. Like, all right, guys, that's it. I'm bowing out.
Yeah.
So we have some really interesting questions. Yes. The rings of Saturn keep coming up in the news, I'm sorry, not the news feed, in the live chat. So I don't know, has something happened with Saturn recently? Did some outlet release an article about Saturn or the rings of Saturn? Because I'm sensing a pattern here.
No, not that I'm aware of, but I just got caught up to speed on events today. So
yeah, well, it's been, the holidays and whatnot. Everybody's like, I was really slow getting around today at work. We had all kinds of issues. Everybody's getting their work legs back. So I kept running into issue after issue because it was just like the fastest weekend ever. It was like, it just gone. Okay.
Do you watch the Leo King ever? Do you remember I sent you his page?
I don't watch it all that much, but I have watched him once or twice and he's phenomenal.
And I'm going to say this. He made such a good he did a show last night, talking about the new year and stuff and what to expect. And he made such a good point. This holiday season, there's really no having fun. You kind of have this weird feeling like I have to be doing this. I have this to do. Like, it's not like, well, let's go have a big party for New Year's Eve. I'm like, or New Year's. I'm thinking like, who am I going to schedule on New Year's Day?
Right.
And get those readings done. So there's a lot of there's a lot of that kind of thing going on in the air. Not to mention, I just think a lot of people are, a lot of stuff has happened this year, and Jenny, I think it's very interesting. Last week you said December 23rd. Did you see the comment? And then I said, I looked at it and I said, well, maybe a flood, if anything. Well, the Philippines flood happened that day.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. And 300 people died.
Wow.
Yeah. One of the subscribers put it in the comments. So
That's so wild. It doesn't surprise me at all. I mean,
yeah.
this is, that if it surprised me, then that would, show that I really didn't believe in what we're doing here. But, something similar happened last week to me. I had that dream about the gigantic golden snake in this tower. And I believe that what I was doing was witnessing a mass transition of the elite. They were conducting a ritualistic suicide. And the next day, I saw an article that the Pope celebrated his birthday and he had a pizza party and he was surrounded by kids in the headline. And in my dream, the wall was a freezer and inside the freezer was pizza. But that was my filtration system's way of showing me the symbolic correlation of pizza. They call pizza is child porn. But in the dream, I wouldn't have allowed myself to see it for what it was. It was a very symbolic representation. And then someone who's very important to the elite. I believe he was, I can't think of his name right now. Some idiot, some clergyman that was very high up, a bishop or something like that, who covered up for hundreds of cases of abuse. He died, I think the day after. So that was like confirmation that there is a mass transition going on. The elites are literally taking themselves out before what comes next. And a few days after that dream, it made a lot of sense to me when on the 21st of December, if you go on to whitehouse.gov, you will see an official executive order signed by President Trump declaring a state of emergency in the United States in an effort to deal with human trafficking. And there are names listed. And a lot of those names are foreign, but we know that all the major pedophile trafficking syndicates are international and they root right back home. So, and I said we weren't going to get too into that because I don't feel confident in all of my facts and everything right now. And I would like to do a real presentation on that later after I can really wade through everything. But make no mistake, folks, we are in the middle of something extreme right now. I think that we have General Mattis, saying that he quoted as saying that storm clouds are gathering. We have, generals in the Marine Corps, preparing their men, and they're saying that war is upon us. And I think that what we're seeing is literally a war between if anybody knows who the white hats are, we can say that the white hats are affiliated with the positive resistance in the military and the government. So it's them versus the deep state and deep state alliances. So basically the good guys versus the bad guys. And we're smack dab in the middle of it right now. I mean, nobody's any wiser to it because most people are so distracted by the holidays. Yeah. But even us, I have a family and I thoroughly enjoyed my Christmas and it was nice to just kind of see everybody having a good time and stuff. But in the back of my mind, I am not checked out from what's really going on. It's on my mind constantly. I dream about it. It's on my mind all day long, what's going on out there. And I know a lot of people feel that way. Like no matter what they do, no matter how hard they work or, their daily lives, what they can do to fill their time, they know that there's a wave going on and that they're part of it. They're not separate in any way. And there's some anxiety associated with that because you think, what should I be doing to help? Is there anything I can do? What's my mission? What's my purpose? I want to help. I want to be a part of it. And what you can do, I think, is just offer your voice. Do what we're doing. Make podcasts. Write it down. Do research. Join it. Get in on it. We need people. So for whatever it's worth, and there I go rambling again, but let's see if you guys have any questions or comments or anything to add.
I've seen Joseph Tittles. I've always followed him. I like him actually.
So. Tittles?
Mm-hmm. Jenny, you're funny.
Tittle? Oh, well, I mean, you said tittles. Like, come on.
I know. It's hard to see. Okay, I have my rods if you need to ask the rods any questions. That's all I'm saying.
I did want to say, yeah, it was a freezing of assets. Okay, so that means their property has been seized, their money, their cash flow, everything. Now, I mean, and that's like their food source. That's their life source. So this is a very intelligent way to go about attacking the enemy, is to go right for their money, right for their strongholds. It's amazing. I'm so amazed. Also, somebody asked me about the spiral staircase. That's amazing that you remember that, because in my dream, the door that I was led to with the world's, aka the universe card marked on the door, I was led up through a spiral staircase. My understanding of the spiral staircase, I mean, it's quite simply a portal, but it's very specific to leveling up as opposed to leveling down. So kind of like the way the double helix, as we understand it, is a spiral. You know, it's just kind of moving through it, wading through it. And for me, it was about moving up, going up into the tower. So let's see what else we've got. January 2nd. I don't know. I can't get too hung up on dates, because somebody actually asked me about dates, and you know, the unit of measurement that I kind of like, I feel like I just made it up, but it makes sense to me. Hopefully it makes sense to you. It's called a plot. I'm calling it a plot. And what it is, it's basically just like a window of time. And it feels like it's a few weeks, maybe a 3-week period. I'm going to call a plot. And yes, that's a completely made up unit of measurement, but it makes sense. So while, you know, and I think that, you know, while transitions, big changes can happen in seconds, I think what we're looking at is something of a 21-day transition from completely behind the curtain and hidden to out in the open for everybody to see. So we're talking about the time it takes from clandestine operation, top secret, to maybe even people, you know, CNN having absolutely no choice but to acknowledge it in some way, or to CNN having to bow out. I mean, I can't wait for the day that CNN is just shut down.
Yeah.
I want Donald Trump to buy them out. You know what I mean? Just like throw money at them, be like, go home, you're very fake news. I love it.
Hey, I had something to ask you. No, I just forgot. I was reading a comment and I got a little sidetracked. Shoot. All right. I just read somebody's question too. I'll think about it when I'm talking. I know it will hit me. It's going to hit me back. But somebody wrote, will you go through all the signs and what's going to happen to them this year? So we'll do it with tarot, but just not the whole year. We'll do like the month of January or something. But today we're not going to do live readings. After, what is that? Don't start. What I am going to do though, so hopefully you're watching and you want to enter this contest. So I'm going to pick the first 10 people that write their information below this video. Once it downloads, not on this live chat. Okay, live chats don't save. I need your month, day, year, city, time, location, AM or PM. And then I'm going to make a video for the readings. Okay. And you never know, I would watch it because maybe I'll do more. Who knows? I'm saying I'll do 100%, I'll do 10. But that's what I'm going to do every once in a while, because when we do these live readings and then people do the super chat, then I feel like I can't do the free ones like I intended to. So now I'm going to pick 10 that's my plan. Okay. Mm-hmm. And you need to, if you're missing one thing, like the location, you have your city, but not the country, and I have to look too hard. Or if you don't have, if it's AM or PM, I'm not going to do, you're going to get skipped. So it's got to have everything. If you're from Europe, write out the month. I can't be playing those games. Like if I see, possibly from another country. So I'm going to give you an example exactly how to write it in these comments. Okay. Month. I'm going to give you an example. Here's my birthday, September 12th, 1984, 13:38 or 1:38 p.m., United States, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. All right. So that's how it's got to be.
Wow. Oh, yeah. So another thing was that, you know, not only are they trying to, the global elite are so petrified and scurrying around. I really do believe that. I really do believe that they are scared out of their minds. Some of this is controlled. Some of this was planned, but some of it really was not. And so while we see this grand exodus or transition of these souls from this realm to another one, I also think that they have contingency plans in place. Okay, and one of the biggest contingency plans that we have talked about is what the public understands as Project Bluebeam. That is most likely not what it's called at all. And that's just kind of like a buzz term thrown out there to get people to talk about it. But in any case, I did feel after the dream I had last week that, you know, the next step was for them to stage some kind of a global or otherwise even, you know, just a national event. And I don't think, okay, because we've had this conversation as people are like, okay, it's going to be the UN troops. It's going to be the UN on the ground. It's going to be martial law, FEMA camps, that sort of thing. I don't think we're going to see that. I truly believe, and I have it on good authority, that the American population is so armed to the teeth. We are the most heavily armed population on the face of the earth. We have more weapons than many armies of small countries. This is a fact. Warfare on land in this country for any foreign governing body, for any foreign army to come onto our land and fight us would be devastating. And it actually wouldn't serve any real purpose, because there would be casualties all across the board. And they would lose control. They would absolutely lose control. It would be anarchy. So what I think they're going to do, which if we look at history, this is what they do anyways, is they attack us psychologically first. Because if you can attack people psychologically first and break them, what you have then is a population that kind of weeds itself out. So in the event of an alien invasion, there will be some people in the population that will absolutely flip out, lose it, break from reality, not know how to handle it. And then there will be some people that really kind of go on. So in that scenario, with the staged alien invasion, life would not come to a screeching halt as it would if we were to face an invasion of an army of people, boots on the ground, weapons in hand. So those two things, this is psychological warfare. This is just warfare and death and destruction and mayhem. This serves them a lot better than this does. Okay, because you know, think about it. Think about how some people would just get up and go to work like, oh yeah, all right, so the aliens are here. What do you want from me? You know what I mean? While other people would start killing themselves, killing other people, not knowing what to do, absolutely just breaking from reality. And then in this scenario over here, that actually presents several opportunities for the controlling factions to insert all kinds of other plans, all other kinds of you know, procedures that they've been planning for. And that's what we're seeing with things like the secret space program and disclosure, and all of a sudden it's people are talking about it. Okay, because they're trying to insert their version of things and control the narrative so that when they do stage the fake invasion, they have control of the psychology of people. So do I see a full-blown invasion of boots on the ground UN troops? No, I really don't. I think it would be—
Somebody just asked me to ask my rods, so okay. Here we go. You know, these are my favorite.
Oh gosh. And for the record, just so everybody knows, I personally don't, at the very best, in my opinion, I consider the rods circumstantial kind of evidence. I don't,
you know, I'm going to have to agree with you 100% because my engineer brother-in-law and
he found a million holes in it, didn't he?
No. We played a game with the rods. It was, he had a card and it had to guess, is it this card or this card? Is it this card? And the rod said yes or no. And they were not 100% accurate, so they didn't know. My opinion is, you know, these rods are definitely, they work on some things, absolutely. And I don't know if I told you this, Jenny, but so, because I took them home and I said to my dad, so I busted them out and I go, Dad, do you know what these are? He goes, yeah. He's like, they're divine rods. And I was like, oh, really? I was like, what do you do with them, Dad? And I started cracking up. My sister was cracking up. Her husband was cracking up. He goes, oh, why? Well, they don't work for everybody. I have a set in my truck. He's like, when nobody can find the gas lines and the water pipes, I go out there with my rods. And I'm like, it's right here.
Oh okay. My gosh.
And I was like, so do you know what I'm using them for? And I told him, and he was cracking up. But because my dad's a number 7, my dad's double Scorpio. So he's got the same like kind of intuitive stuff that I do and everything, but he's not like, he always asks me, you know, he's still like distraught that he's not a Taurus. And he's like, wait, so I'm not a Taurus? I'm not a Taurus? And I'm like, no, Dad, you're a Scorpio. You're a double Scorpio, you know? So it's just really funny because,
oh man.
But he was like, mine are stainless steel. He was like, they're nicer than those. He's like, and they're also like this long. And I went out, then I went to, so I was at my mom's and I found their thing with my, I'm calling them pipes now, with my rods. So I think they're like, for sure, 100%, they're going to work and they're ornery. Like these rods, if I ask them something, they don't always tell you what you want to hear. They don't answer me certain times. So, okay.
Right. No, Brandon, hi, Brandon. He brought up a good point is that they help find water. You know what I mean? Like that's essentially, I think even before they were used for divination, it was about finding water in the ground.
It's water, it's pipes, it's gas lines, it's all that stuff. Mm-hmm. There's definitely some energy connected to them. And it's funny that my dad said they don't work for everybody.
No, you know? They don't work for me.
Have you ever used them though, Jenny?
Yeah, and they like told me to go F myself. Seriously, they don't like, I don't really like the rods.
Well, here's the thing. My rods,
I helped them at the seminar and I asked the most basic question that was a blatant yes, impossible no. And it said no. And I was like, you know what?
So, well, I'm going to tell you something with these though. They don't just work for you automatically. Like
you have to spend time together.
Yeah, you do. I mean, when I got them, they wouldn't answer. They would go like this. You know, just like this and like this. And Jeff called me and I said, Jeff, what is going on? And then I had the phone on speaker. And then I had the phone on speaker and I said, why aren't they working? Are they broke? And he goes, how do you just have to work with them? You have to say thank you. You have to chit chat, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, so he's on the phone and they start moving like this to hear when they heard his voice. It was so weird.
That's wild.
Yeah. So, because Jeff made them. So then that night, my friend called me and there was a serious situation. And I actually said, you know what? I just got these rods. Let me ask my rods.
Right.
And they started working that night. And then I said, do you want to sleep in the bed with me tonight? And they were like, yeah, okay. They're like sleeping by my bed in the pillow. So they sleep in my other pillow. And I'm telling you now they work, but they don't just like warm up to you without you. I think that's where people like get them and then they get frustrated. So,
well, it's like anything. It's like a deck of cards, like a deck of tarot cards. You have to build a relationship with your cards and, you know, that energy, there's a bond that takes place. You know what I mean? So I totally get that. It's just, I guess for me personally, rods don't, it's not my chosen, you know, form of divination or what. It's very entertaining. I mean,
it is
hilarious. Oh my God.
Like, all right. So I was going to ask it.
Fun.
Okay. So are we going to have, somebody asked if we're going to have a World War III.
Are we going to have
World War III?
No.
No.
Okay.
Good boys.
Good.
Oh,
then, folks, the rod said it's not happening, so it's not happening.
Yeah. So what other questions do we have? Any questions for the rods? Guys better start asking us a question or we're going to end this podcast.
Oh my gosh, I have laundry. Like, if you guys saw my mountain of laundry, you would, like, nobody would ever talk to me again. They'd be like, holy crap, she needs to get her life together. Laundry is my least favorite chore. Here's the thing. My laundry is always clean. I will do loads and loads of laundry to keep everything clean. It's folding things and putting them in their homes that I have a problem with. So I don't know why I just said that.
My rods also like men better than women. Like they didn't really like my sister at first, but they definitely liked her husband and they definitely liked my dad. But I was by far the
funny. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, we're just going off. It's not very esoteric this evening.
I know. We have to have a laid back. I'm a little drained from reading. So
no, me too.
Break. We are going to pull cards for the 12 signs. We'll do that. Will Trump have Clinton? I've asked this so many times. Hillary's not going to jail, unfortunately. Will Trump have Clinton arrested? Well, that's an interesting way of wording it, though, because I didn't do that. Will Trump have Hillary arrested?
Maybe. Your rods are female. Oh, that's so funny.
I don't know if they're females.
I don't know. I mean,
maybe what if I have gay guy rods? Like they're just gay and they like men, you know?
Man, wow. That's very interesting.
I've named my rods. You want to know what their rods are? They're called the Trump rods.
The Trump rods.
Do you like your name of the Trump rods?
Yeah.
I tried to do the Trump sticks and it didn't like Trump sticks.
Oh gosh. So. Rex said he just did a podcast to ward off evil spirits. You know what? That actually is an interesting idea because the internet is one of the most conducive avenues to the travel of entities, all kinds of entities, artificial intelligence, actual spirits, actual entities. All of our screens. I don't know if anybody's ever seen the Netflix series Black Mirror, but these screens are actually extremely potent portals, and they allow for all kinds of energy to come in and come out, in your house, out your house. And so that's actually really interesting. Every time we do this, we're interfacing with more than just, folks in the chat. There's all kinds of movement taking place. And as the internet is, has this mind of its own now, it is interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see what kind of new frontiers it brings in terms of AI and personalities that are going to be born from and of the internet. It's very interesting. A really highly reviewed and recommended show is called American Gods. And from what I understand about it, it is this really beautiful and eloquent expression of the AI gods, the new gods versus the old gods, the gods that we understand as Odin, or any of the Greek gods, Greek deities, and kind of the war that ensues between them. So I don't know if any of you guys have seen it. I have not seen it. I would like to. Comes highly recommended.
All right, we have a few more questions here for the rods. Will California have a huge earthquake soon? Maybe. Will California have a huge earthquake soon? Maybe not. It's a maybe. It's possible. So ask the rods if TVs are black mirrors. Are TVs black mirrors?
Sure.
Will cryptos explode in value in 2018, like 2017? Don't you think I haven't done that a million times? Okay, I have asked that.
Ask if
I'm going to tell you a funny story about that, actually. So will cryptos continue to explode in value in 2018? Yeah. Okay, so funny story, because I bought Bitcoin when Bitcoin was 18,000. Okay. So then what happened was it kicked me. It basically is after I downloaded it and put money into the account, it said, due to the high traffic, we're going to not, your money won't be there for 10 days. Okay. So I was like, oh, that sucks, because what you can't refund, there's nothing you can do about it. And I called, like I tried to contact them. There was nothing. And then what happened in those 10 days? Drops, big drops. Okay. Like crazy. So I got pissed off. I called my bank and called the bank to see, because I was going to get a stop payment to the Coinbase. And then the bank was going to support it and like give me the money back. They did. And I actually went as far as calling the bank the next day and totally canceled the dispute because of multiple things. But I just had to feel like I did that out of, so I think they're definitely going to be how it was this year for next year. But, don't go invest your whole freaking life savings in there. I don't think that's a great idea, you know? Yeah.
So do you want to read the signs?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, folks. Countdown from 12 starts now.
All right. So number one, also, I'm going to say, don't go by your sun sign, I suggest. I always say check your ascendants first.
What's my ascendant?
Pisces rising, Pisces sun, and Gemini moon.
Why don't I know that? Like, it's so funny. I don't even know.
Because you don't have to go with your, like, at least your signs didn't change,
Right.
Your sun sign, because that's what everybody thinks they are.
Right.
I'm going to go and, like for me, my whole signs change. But if it doesn't relate to you, when I do tarot, like I say, when I listen to other tarot readers, I check my rising sign, Western way and Vedic way, my moon sign both ways. So I check 6 different signs.
Mm-hmm.
You can't always, it's really, I'd say, go with what you think today. Like right now, put that intention. Okay, today I'm going to go by my rising sign, or today I'm going to go by my sun sign. Say that right now. And then I think that's probably the best thing, since it's live too. So whoa, Miss Aries, there, Mr. Aries, that's for Aries.
Aries, huh?
Aries. We're going to start at Aries, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, surprise.
What jumped out?
My favorite card. One of my favorites.
Oh, reverse.
Yeah, and these, the Hermit and Pentacles.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I have the Queen of Cups.
Would you like it if I use my cards like yours?
When did you get those?
I've always had them. I just don't know how to use them because they're very small, because I got like the travel size. I think I got an accident. It's very hard for me to read like what's on them. So you can help.
That's so wild to me that you've had the Thoth deck this whole time.
Yeah.
And I'm only now just hearing about it.
I think I told you that when I was at the store. I said
I think Scorpios keep secrets.
Yes. Not on purpose, I swear.
So funny. Okay. All right. We should do a show with Rex soon. What do you say, Rex?
Yes, I'm going on Lake Project tonight if you want to go.
Oh my God, you are? See, nobody tells me anything, you guys.
It was a short notice. He just told me today. So
thanks, Rex. Thanks a lot, man.
You can come.
I know. Just messing with you guys.
Okay, so Aries. We're going to start with Aries, okay? We're going to redo that because I didn't like those cards either. New down. Okay. That was probably a good card for me. Readings, Aries. All right, Princess of Swords and Pleasure.
Okay, that's cool. That's really interesting because I got the first card that I pulled was the Queen of Cups, and then we put that away, And now I have the Prince of Cups and the Six of Wands. And so you'll understand that as victory. Okay. This actually really fits though, because Aries being a fire sign, I feel like Aries has this inherent desire to be seen, be heard, and to win, and to just assert themselves. And so, okay, so Prince of Cups, I'm sorry. This sometimes indicates somebody that has a little bit less of a handle on their emotional ups and downs. So it could be regarding some kind of a war of like right and wrong, I'm right, you're wrong, or vice versa, and just kind of wanting to have the last word a lot. And it's not that there's like this ill will or this ill intention. It's just more about being kind of immature. And my suggestion would be to take the emotional high ground, the moral high ground. It's not about being right. It really doesn't matter. But maybe to you, it really does, Aries. I don't know. I don't really get along with Aries all that much.
Aries are my 6th house, so they always cause a problem in my life at some point.
So funny.
But you know, the thing, I heard this. I've heard this thing when somebody was talking about Mars. Who did I hear? One of my, just one of the people that I follow who are an Indian astrologer. I think it was Astro Kundalini. Something is the page. I forget their name. I'll put it in the comments if you remind me. But he was describing like Mars and Scorpio, which I have that. Okay. So, but he was describing Mars and Scorpio versus Mars and Aries. And it's so true. Like Mars and Aries is aggressive. They can't control it. And it's more like, that's why there are people that they make Aries personalities, Aries ascendants. They'll just jump in, like adrenaline junkies, like jump off bridges, they don't really think about things. Like a Scorpio is more, it's this controlled thing where it's like, the military sergeant that's strategizing while they're going to plot, it's more of an endurance. Like Aries endurance is more of a sprinter. When Mars endurance, this is what I'm saying right now. When I look at Mars endurance is more like a marathon, the Scorpio and Mars. So that's kind of how I look at it. But yeah, I don't know what you were where the hell I was going with that one and how that even came up.
We're talking about Aries, fire.
Okay, I have the thinking woman too. So that's, I gotta read it. I don't know what these all mean, like I said.
Someone said I look like a childlike empress. That's very nice. Thank you. I'll take that. I'll take it.
That's cute.
That's cute. All right. Who's next?
Hey, what about my Princess of Swords and Pleasure? What does that mean?
Well,
I've never used this deck, so you gotta tell me.
The Princess of Swords is okay. So this is how I can explain the Princess of Swords. She is kind of like a rebel without a cause. If she reminds me very much. Now, listen. The thing about the court cards is that they're very sensitive to the cards that surround them, and sometimes they're not always people. Sometimes they're situations or ideas or concepts. Sometimes they're the feminine or masculine aspect of your personality. It doesn't have to be defined by any one thing. That's what makes the court cards kind of tricky. They're the trickiest cards to understand because they're not fixed or defined. They change. They're very fluid. But the Princess of Swords, especially with the pleasure card, is the 4 of Cups, correct? Or is it the 6 of Cups?
It's the 6. So for the person that wrote, she said she never used a deck. Okay. The deck that I'm using today, I've never used. I'm using this.
Oh, there you go, you guys. You pissed her off.
Somebody has to say one smart ass remark, and here it goes. Okay. Mm-hmm. So don't sit here and say, oh, she doesn't know what she's doing. I read tarot cards differently than anybody else anyway, so I don't want to hear it. I'll take these and interpret it my own way if I feel like it. But I want Jenny to do it. I want to do it the right way.
Right. So, but the Princess of Swords, she's the rebel without a cause. She reminds me of like a 16, 17-year-old girl who's very angry, but she's very intelligent, and her anger is channeled in the wrong direction, but she has so much potential. But I really like this because I feel like this is the feminine energy who kind of got her way. She was heard. So even if you're a man and you're a male Aries and you still have that feminine side of you, that, you know, there's so many different expressions of the feminine. But
you know what, that with this card kind of makes sense. Maybe you might even just have somebody coming into your life, and it could be a teacher, it could be a romance for a man. It's funny you just said that. So point is, there could be some, I look at this like there could be some pleasure coming in here. The princess,
well,
the pleasure.
Well, the Six of Cups is one of the best cards in the deck. I mean, listen, all of the cards have their facets that can be looked at as negative, or, you know, there's pitfalls with every card. There's something lining every card that highlights things that need to be avoided or things that need to be worked on. But the Six of Cups in general, you know, six is being about balance. I'm not the numerologist, but six is being a solid number, beauty, abundance, wealth, that sort of thing. It looks like a good thing. This is like the girl who got her way, the girl who had put her tiara placed very nicely on her head, and she's just very pleased with herself.
Maybe I'm gonna go with my Aries moon this week.
If we take 10 minutes on each sign, we're gonna be here all night.
Yeah. All right. Well, then we got to speed it up. So Taurus, guys, and we're going in order. So don't say, oh, you know, we're going in order. Taurus. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Okay. All right, Taurus. Okay. So Taurus, a lot of mental energy, a lot of air here, the element of air, as depicted by the sword cards. We have the Ace of Swords and the Four of Swords. The Ace is always a new undertaking, a new beginning, a new challenge, mental clarity, doing something that needs to be done, not putting something off anymore. And then the Four of Swords, you'll see this in your deck also, since we have the same one today, but this is truce. Okay, this is about rest after battle. Okay, this is one of your favorite cards, Heidi. This is about sort of a period of time, like a pause, a rest period, where there may be, so this period of time could come before, right before, or right after starting something. It feels like it's more like before. So there may have been a period of time where things really started to settle down, the smoke cleared, arguments subsided, and emotions subsided. And now what we're looking at is a period of time where you are kind of in the clear, literally in the clear, to make a decision and make a big decision regarding some kind of an undertaking. That it's not an emotional thing. It's not passion. It's not commerce or enterprise. Oh God, look at that. It's so eerie to see my cards on that side of the screen. Like, it's just so weird.
They're reversed.
Okay. You see, even reversals even work differently in this deck. Aleister Crowley didn't do reversals in the more traditional sense. His were dignities. He described them as dignities. And that is all of the cards that surround it. He would refer to them as satellite cards. And these are the cards that give that one card their meaning and change them.
So I think personally, this is like overcoming a lot of, like when I look at these and with the notes too, I see here, the strength is reversed. So, you know, definitely taking a rest, a pause for sure. And another thing is because the strength card came up in the Oracle deck that I saw, and science, maybe like the science card, who knows? It doesn't, maybe it's science, maybe it's like take a rest of, you know, all those kind of subjects and relax.
The science card, for me, that card is so much about strategy, dude. Like, it's all about thinking it through and like allowing your mind to do what it does best in terms of letting your talent. Taurus is a very cerebral sign from my understanding. There's a lot of stubbornness there. So when you're stubborn, okay, think of how stubbornness, that trait can serve itself, can lend itself so well to the execution of an idea, to, you know, finishing something that you started, you know?
Yeah. And trust me, I know what's going on with Tauruses right now too. So and what I do with these cards too, I'm putting them with astrology transits. So just for that little naysayer from earlier. I don't forget. I'm a Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio, Pisces, Leo. All right. Taurus. Then who's next? Gemini. Completion. Reverse.
Stop it with the reverse.
It is. I just have to say it. It's true.
Okay. So I have the 5 of Swords and the Chariot. Oh, so, all right. In matters of family, because this feels like family to me, either family or your professional world where it's been very tight knit. So perhaps a job that you've been at for a very, very long time, the people you work with ultimately become like an extended part of your family because you see them every day. But it looks like there has been some kind of a blow. The 5 of Swords is the card of defeat. Okay, so it's not so much a literal like defeat, like you've lost something. This is more of a mental running out of steam. You really don't have any more to give mentally. Okay, so it kind of feels like this person may have been, Gemini, kind of spinning their wheels regarding profession, regarding work. Something has not, whereas, the Chariot is about a team. The Chariot is about leadership, really driving something home. And so it looks like there may have been a blow to the unit, a blow to the bigger picture. And it could even be a matter of like losing sight of the bigger picture and feeling totally burnt out and like the vision, the goal being so far out of reach that you feel like, what am I doing this for? Why am I even doing this? Throwing in the towel, that energy of giving up.
Yeah. It could be on relationships too. Somebody having an affair just with astrology and stuff. So relationships, unhealthy relationships are going to be happening. I mean, you're going to be kind of decluttering your 7th house. So when you have Saturn that goes through your 7th house, you have to understand it's either going to heal things, fix things, or, the more work you put into it, or it's going to make you realize what you need to let go. So you'll be tested with Saturn in the 7th, and it won't just be marriages. It can be business partnerships. It's going to be everything. Anything else. It's your 7th house is anything, like anybody else. So, all right. So then we've got. I
want to say something also because I know that I referenced Crowley, Aleister Crowley, and I just want everybody to know that I use his deck of cards. I have read a lot of his literature. A lot of his works. I've read about him, who he was, the people he worked with, the people that he trusted, the people he associated with and worked with. And while I don't consider myself a follower, because that kind of connotates that I surrender any personal power to him and his authoritative word, that's not the case at all. While I disagree with him it's hard to say, how do you disagree with somebody like that? While I don't align myself with everything that he aligned himself with, you cannot do any amount of true, genuine research on the man and not see, if you have half a mind, you can't miss the brilliance. You can't. He was brilliant. He was a genius. He was so ahead of his time. I respect him so deeply. And in the past, I have this weird love-hate relationship with Aleister Crowley. I really do, because, while I wouldn't really want to hang out with the guy one-on-one, I'm fascinated by him. So for what it's worth, folks.
And just because you use something that he made doesn't mean it's like, it is what it is. Like, just, did somebody make a shitty comment?
Well, there's a lot of misinformation out there about him. There were campaigns, highly funded campaigns to just skew his name for many, many, many years. When really the guy was a visionary. He was an artist. He was a true magician, and whatever. Like, you can have your opinion about him if you want to, but do some real research and don't take everything that you hear as fact.
Wait, time out. I got to make something real clear. For the record, Wendy, no, that's not, you just wrote for a full reading. No, I'm going to pick 10 people to do mini readings and I'm going to make one video, not, so if you need the first 10 people to write their birthdays in the comment section after the video downloads, not here in this chat, after the video downloads, you'll get the free mini reading, just a quick 10 minutes. I'm not picking 10 people for full readings. Just had to make that sure that was pretty clear.
Right.
All right, so who's after Gemini? Then we have Cancers. Death.
And you know what? Nikola Tesla died alone, broke, and just, his name dragged through the mud. That doesn't mean anything. Just so you know.
All right, so Cancer.
Okay. Ooh. All right. Cancer. I have the 8 of Cups and the Fool. So this is really interesting because for me, this is a very specific energy of utilizing the strength that it takes, as painful and as hard as it is, to walk away from a situation that emotionally drains you, where you have no more emotions left in the tank to give to anything. And then you literally take off. So if this, 8 of Cups being an emotional card, a card ruling, with domain over the emotions, this is like leaving a relationship, literally either picking up, taking your stuff, getting your stuff and leaving, or taking a trip, just physically walking away from an emotional attachment of any kind, that doesn't serve you, and being so crazy and crazy in a good way, that you're like, okay, I don't know what it is. Maybe the stars just align perfectly, but today I woke up and I'm done and I'm leaving and that's it. So that's good.
Yeah, I kind of got the same. You have the Death card, completion card, the Fool. So something's probably going to end.
Right. Yeah. Endings, 8 of Cups is about, walking away, giving up. But it's a good thing too. There's a positive thing with the 8 of Cups.
Sometimes it's just holding on to that emotional baggage that you have that can't help you move to the next thing. Sometimes you have to let something go physically and then it will come back.
Right.
If it's meant to be. Cancer, then Leo. Leos.
I like Leos.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Success, but then this card, I'd say.
Okay. I have the 6 of Cups and the Hierophant. All right. The Hierophant being the card of teachers, mentors, guides, the patriarchy. This is things like baseball teams and university and the police force, things like that. And then the 6 of Cups, this looks like a good relationship or somebody that's really happy in their work. I feel like some teachers, there's really good communication, really good rapport going on with people that you're working with. You could be studying something new, and that really kind of opens up all kinds of avenues in your body and in your life, where all of a sudden you just start to feel better and healthier because you're researching things that excite you. You're working really well with like-minded people. So that's a good thing, Leo. Way to go.
So I think that, when Jenny and I do this together too, maybe somebody gets Jenny's message, then somebody gets my message, because mine's going to be a little bit different than Jenny's because the astrology. Yeah, you could be working with people, I'm going to say, but just watch out for hidden enemies, because you might think somebody is your friend. And with the cards that I saw too, and then I just thought you have Rahu in the 12th, watch out for hidden enemies. So it's great things. Great things can happen, but it could be just somebody who you think is your buddy or your friend, and they're not working in your best interest.
Heidi changed my life changed my life when one of the first times she ever looked at my chart, she told me that I had this whole thing with hidden enemies and that they were women. And when I tell you folks, my entire life, I have always been targeted by women, and I didn't know. I thought I love women. I am a woman's woman. I love girls. You know what I mean? I get along really well. I do.
No, it just sounded so funny. You're like,
Yeah,
I love girls.
I love girls. No, not even like that. But I love women because they're so intelligent and emotionally mature. We can talk, you know, but I didn't know for years why I was having these really horrible experiences with these betrayals and people just shocking me with what they were capable of. And then she pointed out to me this specific, fixed thing that I had in my chart where I would have a lot of hidden enemies that were women, and it changed everything. And now it's not that I can't say that I'm like less trusting. Actually, yeah, no, that's what it is. I'm not as trusting now, but in a good way, because you know what? Boundaries and barriers. These things are important to know, guys. It's just
for sure. Yeah, Jenny, you're very nice. You know, you may be too trusting sometimes. Sometimes that's what Pisces have to learn. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. Too trusting. You can be too trusting. I'm sure a lot of you guys watching know that you can't.
It's a good trait. I'd rather be too trusting than like me, like a stone cold, non-trusting person.
Well, I learned.
Better than me. All right. Then we've got Leo Virgos.
Oh, Virgo. Virgo's the opposite of me. Okay, makes sense. No, this is great. Okay, Knight of Discs and Six of Swords. This is a really, when it comes to like diligence in your professional goals or your financial goals, this is what it's about. The Six of Swords, again, this is strategy. This is like compliance. This is working with the system, playing the game, doing it right, doing it the right way. And then that is working in tandem here with the Knight of Discs, which again is a very earthy, you know, with Earth having domain over the monetary system, abundance, wealth, houses, cars, money, cash, things like that. But this really is about being diligent, keeping, you know, head to the ground, you know, elbow grease, that sort of thing, getting right down to business, letting your mind do what your mind does, Virgo, because Virgo is they're very analytical, very organized, very practical, as opposed to myself. I'm extremely impractical. But you know, it looks good. There's nothing, you know, this just screams Virgo to me, the worker, the diligent, focused, organized person.
Yeah, and just make sure, I personally think, what you probably have a lot of creative projects right now, and you have so many great opportunities. You have Jupiter in your second house, all about making money, an opportunity. You have Rahu in the 11th, all about giving you opportunities to expand your network circle, big money. Like it could be a big win, you know, if you take a risk. Now, I'm not saying go every Virgo, and make sure you have to get your chart checked, disclaimer here, but you know, you have opportunities right now. And if you have any ideas, any inventions or anything like that, now's the time to do it. You have the 5th house activated with K2 in the 5th. So it's a great time, and you might even move. Okay, so then, and that's an ascendant, not sun sign when I talk astrology. So, Virgo, Libras stress me out too. I love Libras.
I like Libras. Libras have always struck me as being real balanced.
They are. And that's why they stress me out, because they try to keep me down and it doesn't work. All right. Well, this is good for the Libras.
Ooh, this is weird. All right. This is strange. It's very interesting. Okay, so we have fire and air. Okay, we have fire, air. I have 2 queens, the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Swords, and the 2 of Swords, which is about truth and untruth and the struggle between those two. Okay, kind of that negative space. Listen, I mean, this card really says it all. It's a beautiful card. Okay, it's the two swords crossing each other. This is about decisions, forks in the road, paths, things like that. Libra, two different queens. Okay, so I want to say that this is two very different paths, two women, two men, two facets of the personality that are either warring with each other or work very, very well. This particular throw, as I'm going to call it, really lends itself to your specific situation. So it can mean many different things. It could be a very good thing, where the different sides, the air element in your life, in your body is working really well or really badly with the fire element that you experience. So it's really that really comes down to your situation. What do you have, Heidi?
One of my favorite cards.
Wait, what was it? I missed it. I was looking at the chat. Oh.
But then this one, so this is good. Like, I think yours is in your head, but then the card I picked from your thing is the wealth one, but it's upright.
That's good.
Yeah. And I will say this for Libras, I see you have Jupiter in the first house. So I think what's happening with Libras is maybe there's some imbalance in the family, the home life, you're in career. Sometimes when you have this transit K2 in the fourth, or K2 in the fourth, Rahu in the 10th, there's this big shakeup, or you can be opportunities, but it comes with a price sometimes, with the fourth house, 10th house. So Rahu in the 10th can give you opportunities and gives you career changes or make you want to work from home or, just something spinning. But, it can do the home happiness life, give it a spin. So, but you have Jupiter in your first house. It's can bring opportunities to you. So that's great. Manifestations, but opportunities also, like Jupiter expands things. So it can expand if you're not healthy, expand more unhealthy sicknesses, diabetes, things like that.
Heidi, Drew wants to say hi.
Where is he?
Hello.
Hi everybody. It's my husband. It's Drewby Tuesday. Mwah.
What's up, Drew?
No, but the baby can't be on screen. Nobody can know what her face looks like. Security measure.
Tell Drew I picked this card for us, all three of us.
Oh yay! She pulled.
When you pulled it,
the three of cards. It's the three of cards.
The three of cards. Oh.
The three of cups. Leave me alone. Oh my God, it's been such a day. No, that's Heidi and Drew and myself when we get together. The three of us are a really funny combination.
Jenny's husband is the same ascendant, the same.
Heidi and my husband are like the same person.
We have a very similar chart. Yeah.
And that's why I get along so well with Heidi. I get along so well with my husband. And it's pretty funny. And if anybody messes with me, he will literally fucking kill you. So I'm not even kidding. The message that I got, somebody said, please slit your wrists.
Oh God, what did he do?
I feel so bad even giving that person the energy that I'm even talking about it on the air. They're probably so excited, yeah, she mentioned my message. But I showed him that and he was like, can I please mess with this person?
You don't want one of us after you, that's for damn sure. Me or him? I'm a little more I'm more sporadic. Drew's more Saturnized.
Live. Yeah. No.
You just won't even know it's coming for you and it just busts out. I'm going to be more extroverted about it.
Yeah.
Oh God. All right.
He was just coming in here to let me know he's going to give the baby a bath and stuff. So.
Oh, what a good husband he is.
Yeah. He's a good guy. I love him. Oh, it's so personal.
Who did we just do? Virgos, Libras.
Virgo, Libra.
All right. So speaking of us Scorpios, here we go.
Next.
Hopefully this is better than last week.
Right.
Oh, God.
Okay.
All right, Scorpios.
I love Scorpio. Scorpio is my absolute favorite sign. Love them to death.
Oh, that's a good one.
Someone said Scorpio and Pisces are the best match of all of the signs together. I agree.
That is true. They are. I totally agree. And the first guy that I dated, like the one I actually liked after I got divorced, he was a Scorpio Pisces. We basically had the same chart, but it was intertwined. You know what I mean? Like,
what was the problem? Was he too mushy?
No, he lived too far away.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
We had the same interests in everything. Like it was weird.
Oh man.
All right.
All right, Scorpio.
Oh God, Scorpio. I have the Queen of Swords, but I like that card. Oh. Oh God. What is it? Give me yours first.
All right.
Don't change them up either.
I'm not. No, I'm not. How funny. Oh, we'll talk about it later, but okay. Heidi and I are drinking and just it's all coming out and she's like, so have you ever changed a reading to make me feel better? And I'm like, yeah, all the time.
She's like, of course I did, you
idiot. Of course. What do you mean? Am I supposed to give you bad news? Okay, so I got the 4 of Discs and the 6 of Wands. This card is coming up a lot today. Okay, this is a card of victory. I love this card. It's a very positive card if you're dealing with any kind of mental or, a battle of the wills. This is always an indicator that you're going to come out on top. And then pair that with the 4 of Discs. This is a card of power. This is also about, this is about status. Having worked for some period of time to gain some kind of professional notoriety or some kind of credibility. Maybe this is even getting a property that you've been working on for a long time, or, finally being able to purchase this really awesome, car or something like that. But there is a level of arrogance and pride associated with this card that makes you kind of fixed. And so that kind of allows, so that's the fear of losing what you've gained, and also not being fluid, not being too stubborn, really, realistically.
Yeah.
I know some Scorpios sometimes are very, very stubborn.
Big time. I'll attest to that. Yeah. And, especially there's a lot going on with Scorpios right now. There's a lot of weird energy. So, not necessarily bad, but, we just had a big Saturn nonsense in our first house. So it's not easy. Things haven't been easy for Scorpios for the past
couple years,
2013. So, it's almost how much more battling can we take, whether it's been finances or relationships. I mean, you name it. So I have, I look at this, there's definitely a relationship involved here.
Yeah.
I also have the Ace of Pentacles, but it's reversed. But then I pulled an oracle card too, because just to be safe. Walking away, channel 27. It's the 27th. This is the 27th card. This is probably a message to me as well. But
yes, it is.
But there's probably a lot of people dealing with the same thing that I am, so in reverse, you may be feeling stuck in a present situation, location, or job too, which is true, that no longer resonates with you. Perhaps out of fear, it might be healthier to consider walking away. So, and I'm dealing with that. So I understand. And it could be relationships. It could be, fear of money. It doesn't always mean this card to me, it could be relationships, could be money, it could be all this stuff. So yeah, but I don't always follow my own advice. So, that's kind of how I did.
Nah, we're not perfect. We don't claim to be.
All right, Sagittarius. This is my other rising sign.
Sag. I don't really, Sagittarius.
No, I'm totally not a Sagittarius. Way cooler, and I'd be way more
Sagittarians are, no offense, everybody. Never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
Sometimes Sagittarius is just all they want to do is travel and stuff, and there's a lot of that for them.
Yeah, traveling,
philosophy, and searching, and for me, they're not trying to search crimes. They're trying to search spirituality. I'm searching crimes.
They need their freedom.
Yeah.
All right, Sagittarius. Okay. So, all right, new beginnings, no compromises, kind of doing it right this time around in matters of love. I have the 2 of Cups, the Ace of Discs, the Three of Wands and the Prince of Cups. I don't know why I pulled 4 cards for Sagittarius, but lucky for you. But, you know, the Prince of Cups, again, you know, in this context, I feel like this is about making decisions based entirely on your emotional needs, as opposed to your, you know, what your brain is telling you, what your wallet is telling you. This is sort of just like flying from the seat of your pants, going by your heart. But it's actually really positive, because it looks like you're going to be led down a good path, because the Three of Wands is about integrity, not compromising yourself, kind of sticking to your standards that you've set, because it does feel to me as if there's been an ending and there's a second chance right now. And it does feel like it's a relationship of some kind, whether it's romantic or with somebody in your family that you've been estranged from. It looks like there's a lot of potential for healing there. The Ace of Discs is a fabulous card for any situation. This is about stability, solid gains, things slowly but surely getting better. What'd you get?
So I definitely think there's, you know, some relationship things going on. And also because you have a big transit in your, like Saturn's in your first house. So that's always, you know, focusing on relationships too, because it's 7 houses away. It's going to just have that. Just like Geminis and Sagittariuses are kind of getting affected with relationships. So, and I pulled some relationship cards, you know, I'm going to say,
yeah,
maybe there's somebody's cheating too, but maybe this is like, get away from shitty friends, you know, maybe that's what it is. Page of Cups. I don't know. Maybe it's family, worried about kids.
Page of Cups. No, yeah. This is an emotional thing. This is like somebody, Sagittarius their emotions may be really raw right now, where it's so extreme, because Sagittarius is not the most emotionally vulnerable sign. They don't wear their hearts on their sleeves. They don't share their emotions. But I feel like for right now, Sagittarius may be going through a period of time where they feel so compelled to sort of face that emotional, it's almost like they're reverting to a childlike state, where when you're kind of like young and you're like, mommy, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, it's kind of this emotional, uncomfortable place for a Sagittarius, where they're feeling all these vulnerable feelings, and they're like, oh my God, what are these feelings? You know what I mean? That sort of thing. And we
might have to get down to business too with Saturn in the first, because it makes you have to, maybe you've been like that, and now it's time to grow up.
Right. Time to grow up. Time to get real.
You could go either way for sure, but definitely both of them. Mm-hmm. Okay, Sagittarius. Then we have Capricorn. This is because I use the sidereal zodiac. So Saturn just entered Sagittarius. I'm sorry to hear that. I know you guys are probably like, oh, no. No, I thought it was in Capricorn. No, not for 2.5 or more years. All right, so Capricorn. I like Capricorns. I don't know many besides my mom.
I think didn't you say my daughter's?
Yeah.
Stubborn as all heck.
Yeah, Capricorns are funny. Yeah.
All right. Okay, Capricorn. Oh boy.
Yeah, mine isn't looking too swift either for a Capricorn. Oh boy, I'm like, ugh.
All right, guys. So Capricorn, I have the 10 of Swords, which is not the most ideal card for when we're looking at a positive outcome. You can see it's this one. It's pretty gnarly looking. It's a card of ruin. But the thing about this card in particular, it's very scary when it comes up. But tens are ends, but they're also beginnings, because now you're starting right back over again. So this is kind of like that bottoming out of a situation, which it's almost like it can't really get much worse. So that's the positive part. The positive part of the 10 of Swords is like, it's reached its end. Now what are you going to do? You still have options. Then we also have the universe, also known as the world.
I have that too. Mine's reversed.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, the reversals, because this is surrounded by cards that give it its meaning, that really kind of define it. So I also have the Hanged Man, the Two of Discs. So this to me feels as if, because there's no emotional cards here, it could be that that's because if this is a romantic relationship, or if it was a romantic relationship, like a marriage, that the emotions are gone. And now what we're looking at is action. What we're looking at is actual movement in the direction of change. Sometimes marriages, there is no more love. If you've been together.
I have the Page of Cups, so there's an emotion here. I have you're
okay. So there is some emotion. But sometimes the hardest thing to do is the right thing. Sometimes the hardest thing to do, the right thing to do, is something that requires that you put somebody else's needs first. And whether that be kids, or even the other person, maybe they don't have the strength to leave, but that it's the right thing for both of you, so you have to be the one to do it. And I know that's very specific, but I'm just trying to illustrate to everybody a possible scenario here, because we are talking about Capricorns in general.
Yeah.
But Two of Discs, and in case this is about changes, okay, we have the snake encircling, the yin yang symbology here. This is about transformation. This is also about actual physical movement. So changes, moving, literally like changing locations, changing physicality. This could also be about losing weight or gaining weight. Just health in general, taking some kind of a turn. And the universe also being the last card in the major arcana. This again is about completion. Okay, so it's kind of like the end of the line. Something has to give.
Yeah, you also have a health transit, Saturn in the 12th house.
Oh, really?
Definitely could be a health thing. Yeah. So, but you have swiftness from this card, Jenny. I don't know what that means, but swiftness.
That's the Eight of Wands. That's the communications card. That's the emails, telephone calls, text messages, information that comes at you fast, news that comes at you fast.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Now we've got Aquarius.
Okay.
Oh, so all Capricorns. You probably should watch from the beginning what I said. So I'm going from rising signs, but if you want to go with Capricorn Sun, you can go with Capricorn Sun. Mm-hmm. All right. Whatever you feel like being tonight.
Whatever you feel like.
Aquarius.
The thing with these messages too is that, it's more about the thing about tarot is that you have to, if you want to really experience the full tarot experience, sorry to be so redundant, you have to put a level of trust in synchronicity, the power of synchronicity. And whether or not the message applies directly to you or your life situation, trust that this evening you decided to tune into this show so that you could hear one thing, two things, 10 things, whether they piss you off or they make you feel good. It's something that you needed to hear.
Yep.
That's it.
You might take something away from every single message, because if you're watching us live, you're going to get some sort of energy from something. I'm sure. All right. Aquarius. Oh.
Texas, James, see, they're moderators, hon. They're blue because they're moderators.
I love Jenny. All right, okay, Jenny, I have the moon reversed.
Okay. Oh, all right. I have the Star, the Princess of Cups, and the Ace of Discs. All right. Very, very, very feminine. What is it? Who? Aquarius?
I have the Ace of Wands.
This is, okay, that's very interesting. Okay. You have an ace as well?
I have an Ace of Wands, I have a moon, and then I have a Six of Cups, but they're reversed.
Extremely feminine energy with this. Okay, so this feels very specific to Aquarian women and the feminine aspect of all Aquarian men right now. The Ace of Discs, the Star, two aces, the Star, and the Princess of Cups, which is probably the most quintessential of the young, vulnerable, feminine archetype in the tarot. So this feels like a creative endeavor, an emotional endeavor, somebody taking this huge, there's a lot of risk involved with the aces, especially when there's so much feminine energy and vulnerability here. It's almost like I get the feeling of someone being like, this is so crazy, it might just work. Like my dreams are so wild, so vivid that this might just work, because this person feels, you guys might be feeling very inspired by your dreams, lots of psychic energy, lots of visions, lots of, you know, the veils are very thin for Aquarius right now. That's what I have to say. The veils are very, very thin. Your abilities might be peak, like at an all-time high right now. All of that watery feminine energy. There's a lot of creation. There's a lot of magic there.
Yeah.
What do you have?
Well, I just look at your chart and you have like a big transit of K2 in the 12th. So it's a lot of moksha, it's a lot of letting go too. So I would say yes, absolutely. Like what Jenny said, with my cards, I see like you gotta watch out, like somebody doesn't try to steal something from you too. Keep that in mind. So those could be like the negative things to watch out for. But you know, this looks good. Just I look at this like, you know, just don't, make sure you're not getting it like the rug swept from underneath your feet. You know, you could, so just be cautious. But definitely looks good, better than normal, you know. But I'm always going to say, everybody needs to always be cautious. Something's too good to be true. Sometimes it could be, you know.
Someone said, oh, so this is just a broad descriptions of the zodiac signs. No, that's not what it is. It's not a broad descriptions of anything. Like we were trying to explain is that if you've ever seen at the end of the newspaper, at the back of a magazine, they have like the horoscope for the month for each sign. I'm really trying to like make it make sense for you right now. But you can liken this to something like that. If that helps, you know, if that helps you to digest it. But realistically, what this is, we're not describing zodiac signs right now. To those of you that currently feel like right now you're dealing with a lot of Aquarian energy or a lot of Capricorn energy, okay, and it would help a lot to know your rising signs and your respective signs. These are messages. Okay, this is what the tarot is sharing with us so that we can share with you. We're not describing anything, okay? What you hear is what you're meant to hear. You can take it or you can let it fly. That choice is up to you. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that clears it up.
Heidi, do I like Aquariuses? Unfortunately, I do actually. They're I'm always attracted to them. And it's like the worst sign for me, in my opinion, because I don't like that freedom type of thing, you know, like for that so I usually scare the Aquarius away. All right. Then we have Aquarius. Then we have best for last, good old Pisces. Pisces.
Why do you think Pisces is the last? I've heard theories, but I wonder what you say.
Well, Pisces is the last zodiac sign because it's the, you know, it's the endings, it's the spirituality, the higher realms, going to heaven, going to hell, you know, it's like, it's the 12th house, it's the 12th sign. So there's a lot of like letting go. There's a lot of, you know, the water sign. It's Pisces are interesting, you know. I mean, I'm a Pisces moon, for God's sakes. I know, you know, but you're a double Pisces. So you're a double Pisces and a Gemini, which cracks me up. Like, oh my God, they're funny.
Right? Like, don't you feel so sorry for like my husband?
Yeah, but you know your intuitive stuff, you know, you've got like that's who you trust is the Pisces. You know, they know the things that other people don't know.
All right. All right, Pisces. Let's see what we got for you.
All right, Pisces. Oh, that's good.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh man.
Why do I have to just keep going sometimes?
Oh, I know, right?
I mean, why did I do that? The first card was so great. It was the Six of Cups. And it was upright.
Okay. So I have the Ace of Discs, the Nine of Cups, the Fortune card, the Wheel of Fortune in other decks, and the Seven of Swords. So what I want to start with is the Seven of Swords. This card comes up a lot to indicate any kind of theft taking place, any kind of sort of a void where there is an opportunity for something or someone to either insert their ideas, their concepts, or to take something of yours away from you. And then the Fortune card also sometimes has a lot to do with luck and things being up in the air and priorities shifting, things changing. So I think for Pisces, Pisces may be dealing with issues of prioritizing right now, and kind of getting their feet like planted firmly on the ground here, is indicated by the Ace of Discs, and really working through what serves them and what doesn't. Priorities change a lot. But the Fortune card is notorious in my experience where people will replace one priority with another. So if last year you were really health conscious, really fitness conscious, you went to the gym all the time, you were really good about what you ate, that may fall to the wayside. And your next priority may be being extremely diligent and studious and studying something, learning a new language. But literally that level of discipline that you had with the health and fitness, you literally switch that with the language or the new class, the new course, or something like that. But again, there's a warning. The Seven of Swords in this context could be about your time being stolen, your energy being stolen. So there's always a warning. There's always people or things, whether it's your phone, your device, or social media that is willing to, rob you of your time, or is capable of robbing you of your time.
Yeah. All right. And I have the Failure from your deck. Okay. But it's reversed.
Okay.
So I look at these cards and I see, and plus from what I see in the chart here, definitely I think Pisces have a lot of an emotional fear of failing right now for certain things, like it's just, there's a lot of like questioning, with how they feel about their status and this is also because they have Saturn in their 10th house, so when Saturn's in your 10th house, it gives you a lot of self-doubts, career, what should I be doing? What should I be focusing on? Then you've got Rahu in the 5th that wants to expand your creativity and expand all these good things, but it's like you're going to have a lot of self-doubts too. So I kind of see that, and it's funny because I have the Wheel of Fortune too, but it is reversed, so I also have the Eight of Pentacles, but then at the end I have the Hanged Man. So I feel like,
you know what though, Pisces are the martyrs of the zodiac. They are the ones that will die for their cause. Yep. They'll always give. They said the mother Pisces, they always suffer for the children. They suffer for the man. Not talking about myself. I'm just saying Pisceans in general are very, it's always about the cause, the humanitarian, that sort of thing. But the Wheel of Fortune is actually really interesting because that's a huge shift in priorities. That's hard for Pisces to do.
I just pulled it again, but this time it's upright. Same freaking cards. Literally all the same cards.
I'm telling you, that's how it goes.
So yeah, I think personally as well, I think that's a lot of shifts. Maybe you have some guilt, your 5th house, feeling like you're being away from your kids too much, you're working too much.
Yeah.
And like you, Jenny, I mean, you're doing a lot of tasks. I'm just thinking, I just thought about you and thinking 10th house career, 5th house of children. Yeah. It's a lot of like, and that's why sometimes, our energy is a little that's why we had to say at the beginning of the video, what we said, because So if you don't want to drain the Pisces, if you drain them too much, they shut down, they run, they swim away.
It's true. You know, that is the thing about Pisces is like, I have this amazing talent for blocking everything and everybody out. Like it doesn't, once I hit that wall, literally I cannot see, hear, nor do I care about anything. And I'm in my bubble and that's it. And when I'll come out when I'm ready, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the same with readings. Like if we feel like people are demanding too much stuff, and sometimes we're the first people to be like, oh,
yeah,
like if it's draining us too much, that becomes problems. So we have to have these boundaries here. And unfortunately, people might be offended, but I'm seeing messages come in on Facebook after I said what I said. It's like,
right, like, come on, you guys.
So the point is, these are things that we're bringing up. We're not trying to offend people.
No.
But when we get constant email, like, look at my chart, and if you're bored, if you look at my chart, if you're bored, look at my chart. I'm sure it's interesting. Well, okay, yeah. So is mine. So is Jenny's. So is everybody else. I know.
Do you have time to be bored?
Yeah.
I wish I had time to be bored.
God.
I miss being bored. Oh, what I wouldn't do for 5 minutes of boredom. Like, I wish I could just stand there forever, something that needs to get done.
I think that's my biggest pet peeve of a comment is, if you're bored, find my chart interesting. Ha ha ha. Take a look. Yeah. And then let's date.
Let's date.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Anybody who thinks they're going to date Heidi, like.
You got a lot of freaking work. I'm just saying. Watch my last video with Ernst. He'll tell you exactly what you have to do. You're put through the battle zones.
Oh, yeah. She'll test you. She'll test you. All right.
All right. That's all we have to say for tonight. I am going on Rex's channel in the League Project tonight. I think at 9, possibly it's at 9 my time. So
I'll tune in. I'm gonna check it out. I'm not going to be able to participate, although I appreciate that I'm even invited. That's all I really care about, is that you.
We say, Jenny, you can come.
Right. Oh. No, but like really in the near future and stuff, talking about priorities. There you go. The Pisces, the Wheel of Fortune. Because I would really like to put a lot more emphasis on my more of a broadcasting, reporting aspect of things, where I have, it's not just about my opinion or my interpretation of things. I would like to really be able to bring you guys information and the news in a way that you'll really understand, and maybe, utilize some of my communication skills to reach people that maybe otherwise are bored by the news or don't really care to listen or care to know what's going on. But that's something that I would certainly like to do. And that will require that I do more podcasts, you know what I mean? Because sometimes I do get very tired. And I have so much that I have to worry about and so much that I have to do. But it really means a lot to me to do this work. So, and Jenny
and I have totally different agendas here. Jenny wants to be a news person. That's honestly, and that's her gift. I do not want to be a YouTube star. That's the last thing I want.
I want to be a YouTube star.
I like doing readings. Okay. Right. No, and you don't want to be a YouTube star. You want to be a broadcaster. But sometimes when we have to do these shows and we can't do all readings and we only have a little bit of time, you have to see why we're kind of just mixing it together, what we want to do with the best time that we have possible.
Yeah.
My last message for everybody in this whole week, I would say my weekly message is for everybody here. I'm saying, I think everybody here needs to make sure that you are standing up for yourself. And I don't mean fighting, okay? But I mean, don't be just sitting back, taking one for the team. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Okay.
No, I completely agree with you. There are so many ways to assert your will power. You don't have to be the loudest person in the room. You certainly don't have to instigate fights. There are so many ways to make a vote with your consciousness. And I totally agree with you. 2018, if ever there was a year that you needed to be assertive and proactive with your life, and you're just what it is that you want for yourself, it doesn't have to be political. You don't have to have a political view. At this point, you're the minority if you don't have a political view. You know what I mean? This is really just about taking control of your own life. And if there's something that you want, there really is, it's not a question of who's of you know, when you're going to stop. It's like, what's going to stop you? Who's going to stop you? That sort of thing. But you really don't, you know, the time for excuses is gone. It's past. Folks, if there's something you want, you got to go get it. There is no more excuse. There's nothing else that you guys have to lose. Time is of the essence. Hurry it up. Get going. Act now.
And I get so many people that say to me, well, what about, what if the world comes to an end? It's not even worth it. People have been saying that for so many years. Okay. If I was like waiting on the world to end and waiting on that reset button, like a lot of people, I swear to God, I think don't go through with some of their things because they wait on that.
Yes.
People that come from this, like Rex's channel, people that search the truth, that were like big Christian.
Like, I don't want to plan my 2018. I'm not saying me. I'm saying, right. I'm thinking someone would be like, oh gosh, I don't want to plan my 2018 summer vacation because it's the apocalypse. And you know what? I don't know if Tahiti is nice during the apocalypse or something. You know what I mean? You guys, you have to plan as if the world is never going to stop. Plan as if things are going to keep moving because they will. Life will go on. The world will keep turning. So you carry on. All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching and for being so cool and all your questions and everything. Happy hump day. Heidi, enjoy your show. I'll be watching.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Bye, everybody.
I'm going to make one more. I'm going to tell you real quick. So for the people that are just saying, after this thing is over and it downloads, the comments are going to, you can make comments on the video after it's done processing. The first 10 people I'm going to pick and then do a show for them, like mini readings for the 10 winners. Not full readings, mini readings. And I'll just kind of go through like I normally do when I do them. So no super chats. First 10 people to put their name down. Make sure you follow all the instructions or you will be skipped. And I'm going to give you an example one last time, just in case you don't feel like listening to the beginning of this. But I need you to write your information exactly what I'm saying, okay? Month, day, year, city, location, time. So I'm going to give you an example because there are people in here from different countries. So September, write it out, 12th, 1984, 13:38 or 1:38 p.m. Either one. I know how to do both, but make sure if you do 1:38 and it's p.m., you write p.m. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, United States of America. That's how detailed, because if I'm missing one of those details, it's going to be the first 10 people you're going to get skipped if I have to ask one question. Okay. So as soon as this downloads, the first 10, and I might be nice and do more, who knows, depends on what kind of mood I'm in. So make sure you have that information, and then I'll make a video in the next few days and I'll put in, I'll give you the mini readings, just because this super chat, people keep donating. And then, I feel bad that I don't sometimes get to people that haven't donated and the one readings. So now it's a contest. Okay. And also I'm going on Rex's channel very shortly and we're going to have a little talk, but then I know I'm going to do readings. So if you want to be for sure picked, make sure you donate in his super chat, and that's how you can get a reading tonight. Okay. So thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Have a great week. And I'm just reading some comments, and have a good night. Thanks.